Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm going to play something for you. The history of this belt. I'm glad I bought this belt because you can't even find them now. You can hardly find them now. It's 4 millimeters. You have 2 millimeter, 6 millimeter, 8 millimeter. It depends on who you buy from. This is a 4 millimeter. The thickness. I'm going to play something for y'all.
In the late 1990s, the WWF was riding high during the Attitude Era. Austin 316, The Rock, DX, they dominated the main event scene. But behind the chaos of Stone Cold beer baths and Vince McMahon screw jobs, the WWF attempted to introduce its own version of high-flying action, the light heavyweight division. So what happened? Why did it rise? And why did it fall just as quickly? Let's dive in. The concept of a light heavyweight title in the WWF wasn't new. Back in the 1980s, WWF promoted the Junior Heavyweight Championship in collaboration with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Stars like Tatsumi Fujinami and Dynamite Kid carried the title, but by the 90s, that belt was long gone. Fast forward to 1997, WCW was taking the wrestling world by storm with its cruiserweight division. Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, and Chris Jericho wowed wrestling fans weekly with breathtaking, fast-paced matches. Vince McMahon and the WWF took notice. In response, they launched the Light Heavyweight Championship in late 1997. Their goal? To replicate WCW's cruiserweight success, but they faced one big problem: star power, or a lack thereof. In December of 1997, the WWF held a tournament to crown the first ever light heavyweight champion. Taka Michinoku, a standout from Japan, emerged victorious by defeating Brian Christopher at D-Generation X in Your House. Taka's unique style and energy set him apart, and for a while, he was the face of the division. He defended the title with solid matches that showcased what the division could offer. But while Taka shined in the ring, there was a glaring issue. WWF didn't have the roster depth to truly support a division. Most challengers were unknown to the mainstream audience, and the lack of consistent storylines really hurt its momentum. Meanwhile, over on WCW, their cruiserweight division thrived. Stars like Rey Mysterio, Dean Malenko, and Ultimo Dragon weren't just incredible athletes, they had personalities, rivalries, and consistent TV time. Fans tuned in to watch them every week on Monday Night Nitro. In contrast, WWF treated the light heavyweight division as an afterthought. Matches were relegated to Sunday Night Heat or pre-show slots. And while the main event scene flourished with Austin, The Rock, and The Undertaker, the light heavyweights were largely ignored. By 1999, the light heavyweight division was barely hanging on. Taka Michinoku lost the title to Christian, who dropped it to Gillberg. Yes, Gillberg, a parody of WCW's Goldberg. This title change symbolized the WWF's complete disregard for the division. Rather than focusing on athleticism, the belt became a comedy prop. The final nail in the coffin came when S.A. Rios won the championship in early 2000. By this point, WWF barely acknowledged the belt and it quietly disappeared by mid-2001.
Do you hate the light heavyweight championship? I know you do.
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah. That was their, trying to match WCW with their light heavyweight division. Yeah, I hated it.
Freshen myself up on that moment. How did that feel for you after all these years of being a jobber, but then you're on television, you're in the job squad, and you win the light heavyweight championship on Monday Night Raw?
They basically gave up on this title. I love this belt. It's unique. The shape of it. Before WWF became WWE. It's got the little diamonds in it. And you can't find it now. You have to really search to find this belt. But I like this belt. This belt, except for the World Heavyweight title, My favorite world heavyweight title is not the big gold belt. My favorite world heavyweight title championship is the National Wrestling Alliance NWA World Heavyweight title. Because that's what I grew up on. I grew up on when you had territories. And the NWA had territories before Vince started monopolizing, buying out everybody, sabotaging wrestling companies, putting wrestling companies out of business. You had all the different companies. You had the Von Erichs. You had Mid-South. You had Cowboy Bill Watts. Y'all know the big wrestling fans before 2000. You have to go 2000 and go backwards to know what I'm talking about. But the NWA was my favorite. In the early days of WWF was my favorite. When you had it was no Monday Night Raw, it was no SmackDown. It was called WWF Primetime. Primetime Wrestling, WWF. And it was on the USA Network. But this belt, the Intercontinental Heavyweight title, and the NWA World Heavyweight title, the one that Harley Race held, those are my 3 favorite belts. I'm not a big fan of the big gold belt with the name played in the all that and the Gotti. I'm more of the classic world titles. That's just me, guys. That's just me. But I just wanted to show y'all this is very hard to find. I looked this up. The good ones. This is the good one. This is a dude from Pakistan made this for me. And he's sending me an NWA World Heavyweight title. And it's 8 millimeters. It's that thick. It's actually 10 pounds. That's in the mail now, coming from Pakistan. I'll put the seller. I'll put him up. I got it off of eBay. I actually got this off. I don't even remember where I got this from. It might have been WWF shop.com. It might have been WWF shop.com during the Attitude Era that I bought this belt. Peace, I'm out. Love y'all. Have a great week.